Okay. I'm hoping that I am currently live again. And I only see 2 people in the chat room. So I will wait a little bit to see if it comes back. Peggy, it should load on your phone. I'm just now seeing your comment. It was from my end. I don't know why it's doing that. So I see I got 10 people in the room. Getting up to 12. I'm so sorry. I have no idea what the issue is with my logon. We've tried numerous different ways of going live. I know for a fact my husband isn't live. I just asked. So just having some difficulty with getting connected. So it is 7:03. I'm going to go ahead and just get started with who's in the chat room. If you're still here, have Debbie Huey. She says, hi, Sister Fran T, also known as YouTube star. Go away. Peggy Connor is here. She says, hi. And Debbie is saying hi to Peggy. Eric Oda is here saying, hello, ladies. I'm early for a change. Hi, Eric. June is here. She says, hi, T and all. Bonita Nance is here. Say, hello, Miss T. Welcome back from retreat. Thank you so much. Eric Oda is saying hi to Bonita. Bonita is saying hi to Eric. Peggy says, not loading on my phone. I'll check PC. I've already addressed that. Cute Red Sock says, hi T, this is Christine, also known as Cute Red Socks. Margaret Hines say, hi, it just came back for me. Hi T, you just came on. And Eric says, we're back. So hopefully we're back and we'll stay. I don't have an agenda for today. I'm just going to try to clean some of this immediate area right here. I've been making more crumb blocks here, and then I may just sew some crumb blocks, but we'll see. Mary Donovan says, good evening from Boston, Massachusetts. Hi, Mary. Claudette Bettis is here saying hi from Anaheim, California. Hi, Claudette. Cheryl Wallace is saying hello from Dallas, Texas and all. June Hansen is saying, okay, we're here. And Angela Whittingberg is saying, hi, T. Hi, Angela. Welcome. So, as I was saying, when I got rudely interrupted by no viewing status, I have not been in my sewing room recording because I had been in here working on gifts, as well as I've been doing some of the block openings in my other room. My room is a mess. It's stuff everywhere. And so I am here trying to straighten some of it out. Recently, I was working with the birthday challenge blocks, and I was scoring a lot of those up, adding pieces. So I've got like scraps left over. Pieces of scraps that I got from a subscriber as well are in here. So I've been trying to sew some of these things into other crumb blocks. Got so much stuff here. I got embroidery threads out I need to put up. It's just a mess. Embroidery hoops. But yeah, so that's what I'm doing today. I have had some weird days this week. Let me see. Let's start with last Friday. Last Friday I did go to MQX, and I went to that show. I have video footage of that. Probably about an hour, a little over an hour footage maybe. So I'll be uploading that as soon as I can get it uploaded. I also did some videos. I did video for the birthday block challenge where I show the 3 full quilts with the grids. I also show you the blocks that I have assigned out to other people. I just got a chart grid, not the actual blocks or the quilt top, because they haven't been delivered yet, but they've been assigned. So that way you'll know which quilt your block is in. A few of the higher numbers, like 140 through 150, like the last 10 people, maybe your blocks will go into the next batch of quilts unless I get somebody else to volunteer to make another quilt for me. I think we're at 10 quilts when I get everything that I'm assigning returned back to me at some point next year. So that video, I'm hoping to have it go live tomorrow. I'll be working on that tonight after I finish with this recording. Y'all know I'm always hot. So, yeah, so that's the status on that. You'll be seeing a full video. Trying to think. This week I've been doing some other video taping as well. I got a product review that's not sponsored, something that I just purchased. I really like it. And then I was working also on a Cardinals t-shirt quilt, and I went to go tape me laying it out in the Harley Treads format, and that did not work. So I'm at the drawing board on that. I'm back in EQ trying to make a layout because I had way too many pieces than what was included in the Harley quilt, so that layout wouldn't work for me. And I can't think. Oh, and when I went to lay that out, it's like just a waste of time when you go to lay things out and then they don't work for you. Friday, I done a video for a mail call. I received something from Trey, and I also got a thank you card from Claudette. So that'll be in Friday's mail call video. Trying to think, what else have I got to tell you? I think that's it. So if you got any questions, I can answer those. Also, let me go and make sure, see if anybody else came into the chat. We got Rhonda Ladson says, hello T and everyone. Hi Rhonda, welcome to the chat. So I've just cleaned off like a section, not a whole lot. Still got thread here. Oh my goodness, it's just too much. The older I get, the less I like cleaning up. Does anybody like that? Don't want to be bothered with the cleanup part? Especially in crafting, because I feel like I can be doing so many other things. And now I'm just sitting these on top of the machine because my threads are all stored over here and I'd have to stand with my back to you, so I don't want to do that. It's just a mess. It's so messy in here I can't work. Eric, you're sweet. He says, we are makers, not cleaners. It is ridiculous. And I don't know how I'm going to make this iPad angled so you can see my computer. My sewing machine. I have no idea. I guess it's a computer too. So these are really long pieces. I think this goes over there. So, what has everyone else been up to? Your projects? Let me know. I thought it was something else I was supposed to tell you, and my little pea brain cannot remember. Trying to get something to cut on down here. Got Regina Ector is here. She's saying hi to Eric, I think. That's what I saw. Okay. I don't know why I have this iron out. I don't use this little mini iron. It must have been something with the projects I was making where I had this out, because I can't remember why it's out. And then I have this little base that it sits on. Put that up. Won't be needing that. Okay, let's see, let me get another stand. See if I can, I have no idea how to make this iPad. It won't turn down. It's always sitting up, and I have something behind it. And if it goes too far, then it's going to fall. See, I got so much stuff to clean up. All of this needs to be cleaned off of this cutting table. So, I know the machine. I'm bouncing you around here for a minute, trying to get more stuff cleaned up off my immediate area. Let's see, I seen Eric say something. So Regina Ector also said hello to everyone else. And then we have Bonita says, I bought a pattern and it came with a card. It looks like you can color on it. What are you supposed to do with it? I bought a pattern and it came with a card. I'm just assuming that they gave you a lot of the quilty people were buying coloring books that we color in now, and then they might make cards or do some other kind of paper media with. I'm going to assume that's what it is since I don't see it. They're just fun. It's a big phase now with adult coloring books. Margaret Hines says, took a king size quilt off my long arm. Congratulations. I know how that feels. I wish I could get something loaded on my long arm. Don't seem to have time. June says, I'm quilting my log cabin quilt, making 2 more quilts. Awesome. I love log cabins. It's also one of my favorite designs. Joan Elkins says, hi T, love watching your last few videos. Hope someday to go on a retreat with you, all of you. Well, thank you so much. It's so funny because I had not intended at all to ever have another retreat because of 2 years of planning for this one, and then it's not working out for so many people. So I didn't want to do it anymore, but the 7 people that attended really wanted me to do another one. And they promised that they were going to come back, so I'm deciding I'll go ahead and try it at least one more time. So if you don't know, or if you didn't look at the retreat videos, I uploaded a 3-part video series on the retreat that we had in the western part of Missouri. We did more than just go to Missouri Star Quilt Company, quilt shops. We actually did some road trips. So I put it in 3 parts because it was so long and I didn't want anybody to be sitting there for an hour and a half watching just one long video. So I broke them up into 3 parts so it'd be easier to watch. And that is what she is talking about. In 2020 though, we're only talking about taking 20 people on retreat. So I'm in the process, or I will be in the process of looking for a venue so I can start getting some prices on that. And I may have to wait until 2019 to start getting prices because I don't think you can book 2 years out here. And then we have Eric says, I was asked by an art gallery owner if I wanted to do a gallery show. Now that is some great news. Congratulations, and I hope you said yes. That is awesome. Angela Wittenberg said, I've been working on a secret gift quilt. Those are always fun and you can't talk about them. A lot of Bonita said, congratulations to Eric. We got Janice Mackerel. She says, number 50. Just finished a king size quilt. I used the keyhole pattern with calico. My screen is jumping. Calico prints. Just love it. That's pretty cool. I made a calico log cabin quilt. Didn't like the blocks, but when I did the setting, it just turned so beautiful. Regina saying, congratulations, Eric. Are you going to do it? Leetta Bryan is here. Hi, Leetta. She says from Hannibal. Hi, T, from Hannibal, Missouri. All right, she's on retreat. Have fun. There is a wonderful quilt shop in Hannibal. If you've ever been near Hannibal, traveling through the Missouri line between Missouri and Iowa, please stop there. It's an awesome shop. And it caters to all styles of quilt making. Nancy Holmes says, hi, T, loved your retreat video. Maybe I can get there in 2020. Bonita says, okay, so the 2020 retreat will there be sewing machines available? Probably not, but I might can convince a few friends to let us use some of their older models. I'm not sure how we're going to handle that, but right now, no. There will not be any sewing machines. I will have to see. I know that I can bring maybe 2 machines extra that somebody can sew on. Probably I have to make sure that they're up and running correctly. I can bring my Singer Heavy Duty, and I can bring my Singer XL 1000 maybe. June says, love them, you guys look alike. I don't know, NL, loved them, you guys look alike. I don't know who that's to. I don't know. Nancy says, congratulations to Eric. Rhonda Latson says, I watched them and I want to go the next time. Go to this the next time. Eric says, thank you. I said I'll think about it. Please do it, because a lot of people do not consider quilt making to be art, and so if your work is going to be shown in the art gallery, it also puts a different perspective on quilt making. And if they didn't think that you had something that their visitors wanted to see, I'm sure they wouldn't have asked. So please do it, Eric. Oh my goodness. Eric says, would you believe I don't have any quilts? Every quilt I've made has been gifted to someone. I would check with those people and see if they have used it, see what kind of condition it's in, and then go from there. But I would try to do something to do that quilt show, even if it's little small versions of them. So, and June Hansen says you were having a great time. Yes, I just stopped recording at some point during the retreat and realized it was time to go. And I'm like, oh my goodness. We had an awesome time. The only negative thing on our trip is that we did run into a lot of quilt shops that did not want us to record. Some of them didn't want, they said that they already had how their shop looks on their websites. Some of them said they don't want to get into comparative pricing that's on somebody's video that they can't control, that kind of thing. And I don't really go in for pricing per se on when I go into an actual quilt shop, but I have to respect their wishes, and so I just did not videotape. Benita says, bribe Eric with pound cake, laughing out loud. Eric says, I'm not an Indian giver. Okay. T, what's the recipe? What's the recipe for the pound cake? You'll never get it. I think you asked me that before. But yeah, so let me see. I have another stand here. This stand kind of leans back, so I'm not sure if it's going to work either. My problem is I've been trying to put things behind the stand, but I think if I keep putting in too much, it's just going to tilt over. So you can see the sewing machine, but you still can't see what I'm working on. Let's see. Do I have anything else? I have a rag here. And Bonita says it won't taste the same way anyway, Eric. See if I can turn this a little bit more and ignore all my crap in this corner. You can see the needle now, at least. It's at a weird angle still. I have 3 blocks here that I already pieced, and they are not wide enough, so I need to add 1 more piece across the top or bottom. Maybe you all can see some of your fabrics in here, because these are all the trimmings for the most part that I shaved off of other blocks. Some of them I may have added a piece or 2 of my own fabrics, but they need 1 more piece added before they're big enough. And these probably will go in my charm quilt. since they're going to be extras. And I just can't seem to throw anything away, even if I didn't make it myself. Isn't that crazy? So now I got you tilted down to the machine. You can't see my face anymore, but that's okay. So as I said, these blocks are a little bit too small, so I'm just going to add whatever piece I come across onto these. Did I not bring my scissors back in here from retreat? Yeah, that's the other thing. I'm not fully unpacked from retreat either. I think I just seen John Elkins ask, how is my knee? My knee is in the okay stage. I did something today and twisted it, and then it hurt in the back of my knee, and I think I just did some kind of weird turn while I was standing at the refrigerator. So it's one of those day-to-day things. Okay. So let's see what's going on in the chat. I saw something come through. You all know I don't do much sewing when I'm chatting, right? Eric says that he thinks he will do the show, but schedule the show sometime next year. And that's good. And then you can always do like small pieces. They don't have to all be big pieces. And then you can see what you can borrow back from people as well. Maybe. So these are, when I'm sewing, I mostly always leave something attached to my sewing machine. Peggy, if you're still here, you left a piece. No, you left 2 pieces at the gill. I've already got them cycled into my crumb blocks. And the other one is on the wall. Let me get it. Here's your other piece, Peggy. Somebody came and handed it to me and said, I think these belong to Peggy. I go, okay, I'll take those. It's one of those finders keepers moments, Peggy. So yeah, so I'm just using my board to finger press some strips that I had already sewn. With these extra pieces, what I'm doing is I'm trying to, when I sew these together, I'm trying to put a piece unit and then put a unit that don't have any piecing next to it, just to cut down on some of the seams, but I don't have to. It's just making it easy for me to finger press the seams open. Like on this one, it does have some piecing on each end. So just piecing basically whatever together. So I'm trying to pull some plain pieces from the top here. So these are the ones that are just slightly too small. And I can't, maybe they're even a little bit narrow. Maybe I put a strip on the side. Who knows? I can't remember. It's been a few days. So some of you were saying that you like the sewing video, so I'm trying to cater to some of that as well. And I don't even have a ruler in here, the correct size of a block that I need. So I'll just add one on the side and then add one across the top. Got Seeing Forest here, says hello to you and everyone. Better late than not at all, laughing out loud. And she's got a love heart. Welcome, Seeing. We haven't been talking about much. Haven't missed anything. I'm just working on some crumb blocks right now. Trying to keep it out of the camera. So now I have something like this. I just added a piece here, so maybe I might be just a tad too narrow. So I'll see if I can find a piece to add on the side. And then we'll be done with this block. Just about to run out of bobbin thread. My machine is indicating. I have one of those sewing machines that tell me when my bobbin is still like a third full, that my bobbin is low. So when it does finally run out, it's really a surprise because you have to ignore it all the other times. I've even taken the ding off. It does indicate it with a little beep, but it was too premature. Let me make sure. Eric says they don't have much wall space, so it will be small pieces. That's pretty good. Bonita says, any news about Ace Hardware fabric sale? No. And I was thinking about calling them today, just didn't follow through on that. I had one of those weird days where I had a lot going on, and then right before, like maybe 3 o'clock, I wasn't feeling too good, but I can't really put my hands on what the problem is, and normally when that happens, it's some kind of sinus infection coming, so I'm trying to take medications for that. So I was actually in bed from like 3 to 6:30. So Peggy says, laughing out loud, I was looking for them, not glad you found them. I knew you weren't going to miss them because you had so many pieces. But I just said, I'm going to put her pieces in my quilt. Eric says, has anyone ever considered opening their own quilt shop? No, not me. I feel like that's going to be a lot of work, especially if you are a very productive quilter. I think all of that will cease. But not me. Maybe somebody else in the comment section has. Bonita says, I guess my shop will actually be a museum. And Eric says he also hates those bobbin indicators. At one point, this thing was driving me nuts, dinging all the time, and it had a third of a bobbin full. And so I found out that I could just cut the indicator off, but it does still pop up on the screen, which you can't see. So it's there, a third of my sewing time per bobbin, and it is aggravating because you really don't know when you really need a bobbin. And I'm glad that I can look down. This is a drop-in bobbin, so I can look in and see it, though. And I think that's it for the comment section. So we just need one more piece on this, and I'm just putting pieces that I just trimmed off of another project on here, just to at least get these 3 done. I've started at the beginning of this year. I started a crumb quilt where I had it sashed with some, I think I framed it with black fabric. I can't remember, and then I used like white dots in the sashing. Let me look and see if I can find it anywhere. I don't know. I got so much stuff in here. I just don't even know where I put them. It's just crazy. It's too much stuff. And I probably can't find it because I started using them in a string lecture that I did. So that's probably where they are. They're probably in a container somewhere. So I think now I need to know if this is 11 inches tall. I have a ruler here that's 9.5. I need 10.5. So it's probably just a little too short. Don't have the right equipment in this room because I haven't been in here doing any serious sewing. All of it's still packed up. How vibrant those colors are on these prints. They're pretty. I just love color. So these two are ready to be pressed. So nothing fascinating is happening in your neck of the woods? I can't even remember the people who asked me to do more sewing related videos. But those that don't know how to make crumb blocks, this is basically how you start. I'm just mostly working with straight pieces now because this is what I have left over. And as I said, I'm one of those quilters that if I think it has any use, it's hard for me to just pitch things. So I have just been sewing pieces onto the scraps that I've been trimming. So I haven't been looking at the screen. I don't know if you all are chatting or not. I hope some of you all are sewing. At least doing some handwork maybe. I'm using my little thread snips that I received as a gift too. These are wonderful. So all of those had 2 on them. Now I just added a 3rd piece. So now this is what I'm looking at. I just added this piece section over here. And then just adding plain pieces. Eric says he's still working, or kind of, sort of, something like that. I saw scroll through. Okay. And I know you can't see me sewing head on, but at least you can see the sewing machine needle moving. I just could not get the energy to get out of bed any earlier than I did, so got out of bed like 6:30. It sure felt good too. I must have just been tired maybe and just needed to just sit and chill for a minute. I don't even know where my wooden iron is either. I have no idea. I am so disorganized. I'll go through and see if any other chats are there in just a second. Okay. So let me sit back while I do this part. Eric says, ironically, I would love a bobbin indicator on my long arm. I seem to go through bobbins on my long arm like nothing. That is a great place to actually have a bobbin out indicator light. On my Gamel, you can, it's not like automatic, but you can like kind of fine tune it to let you know when you're going to run out of bobbin. It's all in the software. It has nothing to do with the actual bobbin though. So like say if I ran out of a bobbin and it told me that I ran out, that I have 20% left, but I actually ran out, then I can change the indicator down a number or two trying to get it to match. But it's not perfect. But it's better than nothing. Janet says, what make model is your machine? This is an old machine. This is a Baby Lock Elagio. Long time ago. I've had it a long time, so I have no idea how old this machine is, although I know they don't make it. And then my other machine, this machine also is an embroidery machine, as well as my Elissimo, the original Elissimo that's over here. You can't see, that's the main embroidery machine. Eric says, how's the card making going? I haven't made a card in a long time. I was trying to make cards when I was sending out thank yous to like the children quilters and things like that. Sometimes I made the cards, sometimes I just wrote on a piece of paper, but I don't have any like, I have stashed birthday cards, maybe a few stashed Christmas cards, but I need to make new batches of Christmas cards for everybody in my family, friends this year, and I haven't made a card in a long time, like in batches. I just haven't done it, so too busy, too much going on this year in my life. June says, we got flooded out again last week. It's worse this time than it was in the spring. I'm okay, but a lot of people aren't. That's really sad. I know we got flooded out twice last year, and it is no fun. It was horrible. We had to rent the Rug Doctor machines. We have our own vac, and we have a wet vac, but for some reason their machines tend to pick up water when you go get them from like the local Walmarts. They pick up a lot more water faster, and they have bigger water tanks. But yeah, I hate when things flood out. It's just horrible. And Eric was asking June, where is she located? Angela Wittenberg says, my husband's been gone for work for 9 weeks, and I'm currently caring for our 2 teenagers that have mono. Oh my. Good time to practice quilting, laughing out loud. Yes. Miss J.A. Coleman says, hello, hi, how are you? Welcome to the chat. So, this is how I was saying, like with small pieces, I had these 2 little pieces here that I started with that was probably connected already. And then I just added maybe this piece. It could have already been connected already, but then I know I got this piece up here from Peggy. And then I had 2 pieces from where I trimmed. So I just continue to add. So this is how you start making those little crumb blocks that look so difficult. Mrs. J.A. says, the gifts you made for each of, let me go back, each other was really amazing. Nice thoughts. Thank you so much. We had a great time at retreat. So yeah, this is what I start with, and then I just try to look for another piece of fabric that's about the same size. If it's too short, then I would get another piece, but if I don't mind trimming this part off, then I will go ahead and sew it on. I think I want a piece that's a little bigger. I got some half square triangles that shouldn't be in here that goes with another project. Get rid of that. And so sometimes I just can't find a piece that size, and I may just put it aside for right now until I come across something else, or something that I don't mind cutting a piece off. Like, I probably wouldn't mind cutting this off because it's just 2 chunks of fabric. And so then I might just go ahead and sew this onto this side. And to save the other side of it, I just use my scissors to cut so it's not stuck with threads. And that is how I actually start making like a lot of my crumb blocks, because when I'm working on other projects, I'll just have these pieces in my work area that I'm just using as, I guess you would call them leaders and enders, but I used to call them just chain piecing. So this one's another piece here. And it's just, I don't even try to match anything. I'm just sewing stuff together. And I think some people have difficulty with this because they are trying to match pieces. So nothing new and exciting is happening here. I think I need to be working on UFOs. But I think I got a few videos that I'm going to edit. I know I got at least 2. I got the video I need to upload for Friday. I got the video I've already done for the birthday blocks challenge. And then I bought a product. I need to edit that video. And then I think I just may take a break on doing any projects per se, because I think I'm just tired. I just need to work on some UFOs and get some things done. I think I just need a break. I've been so busy basically since June, actually. I've had a lot going on in my life, and I think I just need a period of time where I can just chill out. So probably will not be seeing a whole lot of fantastic videos in the future. Might just be seeing me quilting. We've got Tracy Davis, I think, came in. Let me check. Yes, that was Tracy Davis saying hello. Let's see. June says she's in Cherokee, Iowa. I'm about 3 hours north of DWA. 3 hours north of Omaha. And that's it. So again, just piecing random things together, end up with some quilt blocks. Just ran out of bobbin. Okay. So now I can change the bobbin out and get rid of this bobbin indicator light. And when I wind bobbins, let's see, I wind at least 10 bobbins, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. Yeah, I got 10 bobbins here. And I wind them all at one time. I wound these bobbins right before retreat. And I have 3 more left with this 4 with the one I'm putting in. So I don't like to stop sewing for bobbins. So I make sure I have enough. And then I use full large spools of thread on a freestanding thread cone, and then that way I don't have to worry about running out of thread very quickly. And this is Superior's thread. Is Masterpiece. It's 2,500 yards, and I want to say it's about $20 for the spool. I'm not sure, I can't remember, but it's somewhere in that neighborhood. Could be a little more. Sometimes I get them at shows and I get a show special price. So I don't want to have to be stopping because I'm running out of thread all the time. So that's when I'm piecing these crumb blocks, I get a lot of piecing done. So I just, if I can flip the bobbin out without having to wind one, I'm very happy about that. Let's see. Eric says, I'm going to call myself the unofficial welcome committee chair for Teaquilts live chat. That is awesome. I just love how friendly you all are with each other. Somebody says hi, you respond right back. So that is awesome. June says, my fingers and tablets aren't working tonight. I love it. So, let's see. I need a piece section. And these could go into the straight strings as well, since I've got a plain piece in between, but I'm going to actually put all of this into my crumb quilt. And see how I'm cutting off little pieces that are just slightly too long? I don't want to sew them in because I'm such a Scrooge when it comes to crumb piecing. I want to keep everything. Somebody else would just gladly throw that little piece away. And I'm here sewing with them. Just a mess. So did anybody go to MQX at all last week? I did a video on it and I didn't say it in the actual video, but I felt like MQX was not as popular this year. It didn't look like it had as many vendors, nor did it look like it had as many quilts or attendees. It looked kind of empty to me. I went on Friday and they had a lot of blank walls in the arena, the area where they hang their quilts. And then they used to have quilts out in the main hallway on the second floor, and this time there were no quilts out there. So I was like really surprised at how sparse they were with quilts. So if you machine quilt, you can do it on any type of machine. It's just machine quilting. It doesn't have to be a long arm. So that might be a show for you to enter some pieces in next year, because it was not a lot of quilts up there. I was so surprised at the lack of quilts available. Run these through and then I'll check for new messages. I see something rolling up, but by the time I look up, it's too late. So now I got something on this little piece like that. So I might just add something on the other side. Peggy is doing the same thing with all of her scraps that she had from another project as well. That's how come she had these pieces at the meeting. I knew she wouldn't miss them, but she would know them when she saw them. Also, make sure that you watch the video I'm going to release tomorrow on the birthday challenge blocks. Someone gave me a quilt top at Scrap Club, and it has a different way of using your crumb blocks. I find it very interesting, so you might be interested in that as well. Okay, let me see what's going on in chat. We got Eric being the greeter. I just saw that. June Hansen said, well, some needs to help her out. No, don't help me out. If you're talking about me, don't send me blocks. Eric says, oh no, those small pieces are gold. Benita says, where can I find the fabric bowl that was taught by Sarah at retreat? I didn't do a video on that one. Maybe I can see if I can do a video. You can try Googling to see if there's another video, but they are so super easy to make. And Sarah did do them just a tad bit different than I think most people did them. So maybe I'll do a video at some point, but I need to get some UFOs done first. I got to get some quilt finished before I commit to doing anything else. So I'm going to edit. That's why I've been doing a lot of editing the last week. I got to edit the MQX video, the product I bought, And something else. I was trying to lay out the cardinal quilt, and that was a flop, but I might upload that anyway just to show you that things don't always go as planned. And I got to do the Friday mail call video. So I got at least 4 videos I got to do, and that's going to take a while. So, and then I need to get at least 1 quilt, something finished off my UFO. It's just ridiculous. June says, we need to thumbs up, Eric. We need to do this, people. Yes, do the thumbs ups. Only got 13 thumbs up. I know I don't have a topic today, but some people wanted to see me sew, so I'm abiding by that. Angela says, I'm a newish quilter, and I can't throw away those bits of fabrics either. That's great. You're starting out right. You just got to make sure you use them as well. Eric says, I put a stop on going to any shows until Houston. And that's what I should have done, but I know I needed to get some bottom line thread from Superior. I actually used that in my long arm, so that's the only reason I went to the show. Springfield, Illinois is only about maybe an hour and 15-minute ride from my house, so it's pretty close. So that's why I went. And then I had 2 buddies. We always go together. Pat Moffitt is here saying, hi, everyone in T. I almost missed you all. I'm glad you made it. We're not doing anything fancy tonight. She says, I might try to make pillows with my scraps. Practicing on quilting. Have 4 plastic bins filled with scraps. I don't throw anything away. Awesome. And at least you're starting to make a plan, because they can get out of control and then they start to stress some quilters out. So that's why I'm trying to use some of mine. I got so many scraps, it's ridiculous though. June says, I save all of mine as well, and I have a very small room and they are going out the door, and my cat has gotten lazy as well. Darlene says, hi guys. This is Darlene Former. She says, hi guys. Never got a notice that you were on. When I first came on, we were having some difficulty with me buffering, but it straightened itself out. So that might have been why some of you were not notified that I was on. It happened within the first 2 to 3 minutes. Pat says, I found a couple of bow videos on Pinterest. I've made a few. The ones I gave my son-in-law thought they were hats. That is funny. See, this is why I come on YouTube when I'm not feeling well, because you all make me feel better. Say true, Darlene. But us Hawaiians say you're on Hawaiian time, which means you're early for next week. That's pretty funny. Peggy says, you cracking me up. Glad you don't have to trim off my bitty crumbs. You all got me crying from laughing. Okay. Joan says, you'll have to come to QuiltCon next February in Nashville. Now, is QuiltCon held by AQS, or is that somebody else? Because at one point, it was held by AQS in Nashville, and I haven't seen that advertised in a while. So let me know, Joan. Darlene says the Big Quilt Show is this weekend in Fredericksburg. Is that Tennessee, Darlene? I'm blocking right now. Yeah. You all are funny. That's why I come on when I'm not feeling great. My husband's like, you're gonna go live anyway? I go, yes, I am. Virginia. Okay, so you're clear on the other side. It takes me about maybe about 14, 16 hours to get to, well, to the Carolinas. Virginia is a little closer. QuiltCon is by someone else. Forgot who. Okay. So I don't think I've ever been to a QuiltCon. And I probably have not been to a QuiltCon because in February the weather is so bad that I'm not doing traveling. Plus my quilt guild, my large quilt guild, we have our quilting retreat every February. And she says it's put on by the Modern Quilt Guild. Okay. So I have never attended that. And so this is how my little piece that I started with has now grown. Did I see something else come up there? Darlene said, down the highway just south of me. Okay, so it's the Modern Quilt Guild that handles QuiltCon. Okay, so I have never even been to a Modern Guild's quilt show at all. Like, I don't think any in the St. Louis area has had their own retreat. So maybe they all just go together and do one big quilt show. They all go together and do one big quilt show together. Joan says, I don't know much about it. Signed up to volunteer. Okay. Well, that's a great way of getting in, too, for free. If you don't want to pay to get into a show, they sometimes will take volunteers. Some of your sewing and quilting expos will ask for volunteers as well. You can get into the show for free for doing that on the day. Work for a couple hours, and then you can walk around the rest of the time. And sometimes even the vendors are looking for people to work for them, so you can get in that way as well. Eric said QuiltCon was in Pasadena this year. Was interesting to see the different interpretation of traditional blocks. So I tend to use my smallest one as a chain on and off piece, like your leader and ender. But I'm really trying to work with the big pieces to get them completed because they'll make blocks faster. And I don't even know if it shows on the screen or not, but I'm also using my knee lift when I need to. If you have a knee lift on your sewing machine and don't use it, I seriously recommend you try it. I love it. I don't have to use my hands to lift anything up that's stuck, or if a seam allowance is going the opposite direction, all I have to do is lift my knee lift and it just lays back into the right direction. And now I'm back to my small piece. And I will just add something on the other side. You can kind of see right here, like right up in this area where my knee lift is going up and down. That's me on the knee lift. No hands needed. I love it. And I tend to do about 4 or 5 blocks at a time, just so that I'm not working on just one block at a time. So we've got some chat box participants communicating. That's pretty cool. Eric, I do need to send you payment. I'm not ignoring your email. I need to find out how to use, I think you said Zelly to send you payment. I have not done that before. So I need to go on to my online banking. Maybe I'll do that tomorrow or later tonight. But maybe, definitely by Friday, you should have the money. I'll send it. I'll let you know by email as well that I did it. And I'm assuming that I'm just sending this payment to your email address. The one we've been communicating with, that's the one that I'll use. If it's anything different, let me know. See, that's just a little 1-inch scrap, and I can't throw it away. Okay, Eric, I see your note. So when I get the email you want me to send it to, that's the one that I'll send it to, and I'm assuming it'll go to your bank from there. So I spent so much money on the western end of Missouri. I don't want any more money to leave my account. Isn't that crazy? I have my money for Houston put to the side. I never put that money into the bank. I wanted to make sure I had it. And I did not want to go into my savings account, so I was trying to make sure I had everything I need. I need my little piece back so I lost my thread snips. So you see how this little piece all of a sudden is just getting bigger and bigger as I go along. And now even the small pieces will not work. The very small ones anyway. I have to go to some larger pieces now to sew onto this. So I can probably put another piece there. I got these two pieces connected. Maybe I can sew something like that across the top. So it doesn't have to be just a single piece of fabric. You can sew whatever you can put your hands on. Throw that one away. The nice thing about the string blocks is that you don't have to have accurate 1/4 inch seams. I try to make sure that they are 1/4 inch or larger. If they drop just a little bit below 1/4 inch, it's still okay. But I don't want to sew them too skinny that they'll fray out of the seam and leave a hole. I know when I was doing some of the challenge blocks, I found a few holes in the quilt blocks, and I just went right ahead and put those blocks into the quilt. And then I just put an applique piece on top. And when I get to machine quilting those, I will stitch down those appliques on my long arm as I'm doing the quilting. So as I said, I made a blocks, or I chose blocks that were beginner friendly, and if they were having some difficulty with them, that there was a way for me to fix them. I know in one of my quilt tops I had a very large hole, and I had some AccuQuilt flowers that I die cut a lot of flowers just to have extras laying around, and I just put a big old fancy flower right in the middle of the quilt. Don't know what's going on in here. Eric says, loud, laughing out loud, Houston fun. Is it quarters from Ray? No, it's not. I actually deposited those quarters from him because I was not going to be trying to figure out how to lug $200 worth of quarters around. That was pretty funny. June says, I'll be making teddy bears, and I use my scraps to stuff them with, so that helps as well. Oh, that's a good idea, too. I don't use a lot of my scraps for stuffing, but I know other people do, and they use them for also kennel quilts. Hey, June, send me one. That's Eric to June. Peggy says, love how my Biddy is growing into a bigger Crumb. Oh, that's pretty cool with the teddy bears. She says, okay, I started making them when my brother died. It was hard at first, but now it helps. I use Eleanor Burns pattern. Okay, that's pretty awesome. I haven't seen the teddy bears. I've made dogs. I made 3 dogs. I kept one and gave 2 to 2 of my friends for their birthdays. The little patchwork dogs. Almost time for me to get my little piece off. So my pieces they're getting bigger. I don't think they're 10.5 yet, so I'm just going to keep adding to it. And like I said, I don't even have a 10.5-inch square ruler here. I have a block on the wall, but I don't want to use my block because it's already been squared up. I don't want any frays. So I'm just eyeballing right now. So I sewed that one piece onto the little scrap. Let me finger press really quick. And now it's looking like that. So that's how they grow pretty fast. I don't have any fancy angles on this one, but it's at least just getting rid of stuff that's sitting in my stash. And that's what I really like. Otherwise, this stuff would be in the trash. Now, I just found a triangle, so maybe I'll put a triangle on one end. Sew that on. I don't even know what time it is. Don't forget to thumbs up the video, guys. I only see 16 thumbs up. Ooh, it's actually after 8 o'clock. I've been just sewing away, having fun talking with you guys. So let me use my 9.5-inch ruler to estimate how much more I need. I only need about a 1/2 inch more on this piece, so I could trim a little extra off on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and put another piece on here that's bigger than what I need, and then I can save a little bit on the other side. So I'm going to put, I only need about 1 inch, so I'm going to put something that's about 1.25 inches. Take this piece off. So when I sewed that piece on, now I got something like that. And the next time I sew a seam this way, I would just get rid of this part that's sticking up. So don't get nervous if you see your piece turning into something like this. It can still all be straightened out. Saw something come through the comments section. I see a lot of stuff came through. Let me go to my phone instead. And then June said that she didn't have anything at the time to stuff with, so that's why she did it using the small pieces. Eric says, I remember when my dad passed away, I took all of his clothes and made quilts for my family to remember him by. It was the hardest thing to get through, but it really helped me heal. And I had another friend, and I want to say she's Hawaiian too, got some Hawaiian in her, and she did the same thing with her mom's clothes because a lot of the prints were Hawaiian prints. They were really pretty. She made quilts for her family. Pat says, how small is too small to use as a crumb? As long as you can get a 1/4 inch seam showing, I say that it's not too small. But I tend to, unless, like if I'm wanting some interesting pieces, then I might keep this small. But normally I try to just keep pieces that are 1.5 inch or larger as far as storage in my stash. But when I'm actually crumb piecing, I might save some of these little pieces to start new ones with, because it just makes it more interesting and you don't have a whole lot of big pieces. When you're making 10-inch blocks, you can use larger pieces and just make the blocks larger and they'll still be interesting. But if you're making like a 6-inch block or a 4-inch block or even 3-inch blocks, then you're going to need some smaller pieces if that's the size of your crumb blocks. So it's all relative to the size that you're using. But then the small ones make it more interesting as well. Sandra Ryder says, I have an EQ8 question. I finally purchased it, but need to know the best place to learn how to use it from people who learned from home. I don't know who to refer you to online if you're not talking about taking a class, because I think what you might need, if you've never used EQ before, maybe you might want to just go to a local quilt shop. Some of them have classes in EQ, and then maybe do that once. They have like a series of classes that you can go to on that. Most of the time they might have 4 to 6 classes for one fee. I would try that. I do plan to do some. I just haven't had time to do all of that. Everything keeps coming up in my life, and so I'm not able to do what I have on my agenda. So hold tight. The nice thing about the new version is that it is very simple. Maybe look in the, it might have a basic help guide, or I use a lot of, when I first started, I used just EQ's website and saw like some of their projects. Some of those people will walk you step by step. You print a PDF as a handout. So maybe that's something that you can do as well. Teresa McBrayer is here, says, hi, Teaquilts, glad I caught you live. We're almost finished. I didn't realize that we were already over 8 o'clock. We got June says, I did make quilts out of his shirts, and then I made the teddy bears as well. Sandra says, thanks for the videos, Teaquilts. Oh, you're so welcome. It's a pleasure. I appreciate you all watching them. Eric says, I will have to look for that pattern. Was thinking of making teddy bears as Christmas gifts this year. Oh, that's awesome. It's pretty unique. And then Joan says, that was kind of you, Eric. Sheepy says, I want to try to make something out of my mom's clothes like Eric mentioned when she passed. I had to clean out 5 closets of clothes and said, forget it, and donated her clothes. Yeah, it can be hard when you got a lot. And what I did, like when my sister passed, I knew that I wanted to make something to remember her by. And so she had a pair of white denim jeans. And so I just kept the white denim jeans, and I made me a sewing machine cover with it. And then I used some of my recycled blue denim. So it was a combination of both of us. So I didn't keep everything. I just kept an item or two. Eric says, laughing out loud, I still have some of my dad's clothes. Don't know what to do with them. Might just donate it. And June says, cut them up, make blocks out of them. It's hard at first, but when you get your first one done, it really helps. Oh, there were a lot of tears. And Regina is leaving. She says, good night, everyone. Pleasant dreams. Bye, Regina. Thank you for coming. Teresa says, at least I caught some. I was watching you at Missouri Star Quilt Company just a few minutes ago. Yep, those were videos from 2 weeks ago. So Darlene says, it's 9:15 here on the East Coast. Time for bed. Good night, Darlene. And I am also going to tell everybody good night because it is late. And it is actually 8:16. We are 16 minutes over. I knew we were already over. But I don't want to hold you all. I might just sit here and do a little bit of sewing. Figure out what I'm going to do for dinner. Go edit a video or get ready to release a video. Got to do the birthday challenge one. I got it ready to go now. So that's it for me. When you check out, please don't forget to thumbs up the video. I really appreciate it. I got Ubercraft talking to me in another language. Don't know what that is. And Darlene says dinner. Yes, because I stayed in the bed from 3 to 6:30, so I haven't had dinner because I didn't know what was happening, why I wasn't feeling well, but you all got me feeling so much better. So I will just say good night here to everybody. See you next Wednesday for sure. And again, I hope to put out another couple of videos in the next 2 days, so watch out for those. And I will definitely be back. So see ya. Bye, everybody. Pat Moffat says goodbye. Happy quilting, everyone. Tracy says good night. Angela says good night. June says good night. Eric says, okay, good night, everyone. Peggy says good night, everyone. Ubercraft says that it's Russian. Thank you. Bonita Nan says good night. Teresa says bye. So that's it. I'm going to stop the video here. I will see you.